Hey, movie lovers, welcome back to Pop Movie Recap. If you want more movie recaps and the latest updates, stay tuned by subscribing to Pop Movie Recap. Now, let's jump right into the action. In the aftermath of The Flash, a catastrophic nuclear event that led to ecocide, the USA has transformed into a desolate wasteland.
Survivors must resort to extreme measures to stay alive.
30 years later, in a forest blanketed with ash, Eli stands poised with an arrow, observing as a cat approaches. At the cat's meow, he swiftly releases the arrow, securing his next meal. With the cat in tow, Eli continues his journey.
Travels lead him to an abandoned house.
Attempting to fill his canteen, he discovers that the taps are non-functional.
Opening a closet, signaling the presence of a hanging body.
He searches the corpse for anything useful. Subsequently, Eli proceeds to cook the cat, while meticulously cleaning his weapons and immersing himself in the tunes of his old iPod. The aroma of roasted meat lures a rat, catching Eli's attention as he shares a portion of the cat with the small scavenger. After tidying up with wet napkins, Eli settles in for the night in the abandoned house. The following morning unravels a new set of challenges, as Eli realizes his iPod is on the brink of running out of battery. He resumes his journey, only to encounter a woman with a broken shopping cart in the middle of the road, soliciting assistance.
A suspicious odor alerts Eli, prompting him to call out hidden thugs nearby, exposing their trap.
The gang emerges, with their leader attempting to intimidate, severing the leader's hand with a machete, asserting his resilience in the harsh post-apocalyptic landscape. In a swift and almost divine display of combat prowess, Eli confronts the entire gang, dispatching each member in a matter of minutes without sustaining a single injury.
Eli doesn't hesitate to end the leader's life as well, but he spares the woman.
Despite her possession of a bottle of water, after thoroughly searching the gang members for useful items, he resumes his journey along the road, until his iPod succumbs to power loss. Approaching a ruined highway, Eli hears the brutal assault of a couple by a group of bikers. Struggling with conflicting emotions, he restrains himself from intervening as the gang takes a life, exploits the woman, and pilfers their books. In the town, he enters the shop of the engineer. The engineer reacts with immediate hostility, brandishing his weapon at Eli. Reacting swiftly, Eli seizes the weapon to demonstrate his strength, only to return it promptly, clarifying that he is merely a customer.
He then requests the engineer's assistance in recharging his battery rig.
Inside the bar, he finds the notorious Carnegie, the town's warlord, surrounded by the biker gang that Eli had earlier encountered. Carnegie, on the hunt for a specific book, examines the assortment brought by his illiterate henchmen. Disappointed, he orders the entire collection to be burned. However, Carnegie's mood takes a positive turn when Ravaged, the gang leader, presents a small sample of shampoo alongside the books he collected. Carnegie promptly seizes the newfound shampoo and heads to his concubine Claudia, who, being blind. Meanwhile, downstairs, Eli exchanges gloves and a scarf as payment to have his canteen refilled. In the process, he inadvertently startles a cat.
The bartender hands Eli's canteen to Claudia's daughter, Solara, who proceeds to the back to fill it.
Ravaged attempts to obstruct her path, displaying interest, but Solara dismisses him. A gang member takes offense as Eli accidentally touches his cat. Eli decisively slams the aggressor's face against the bars.
However, the situation escalates as the rest of the gang retaliates, leaving Eli with no alternative but to engage.
With deft movements of his machete, he defends himself against the onslaught. Eli prepares to deliver the final blow. Solara returns at a crucial moment, pleading for him to spare the remaining thug. The diversion allows Eli to be apprehended and brought before Carnegie.
Carnegie proposes that Eli join his ranks, but Eli declines.
Carnegie, however, compels him to stay the night. Later, Claudia delivers food to Eli, and he discerns her blindness through conversation. Subsequently, Carnegie sends Solara to Eli's room, instructing her to persuade him to stay by any means necessary. Despite her attempts to initiate an intimate encounter, Eli rejects her advances. Attempting to dismiss her, Eli learns that Carnegie will harm Claudia if Solara fails to comply with his wishes. Acknowledging Solara's predicament, Eli allows her to stay the night.
Eli shares anecdotes, and Solara's curiosity is piqued when she discovers Eli's book.
Eager to learn, she inquires about its content. As they sit down to eat, Eli shares his meal with Solara, taking the opportunity to teach her how to say grace. The next morning Solara joins Claudia for breakfast and recites the words Eli imparted to her. Carnegie, taken aback, demands an explanation from Solara, resorting to harming Claudia when she remains tight-lipped. Solara reveals that Eli possesses a book adorned with a peculiar symbol, mimicking a cross with her fingers. Carnegie is excited by this revelation, realizing the significance of what Eli possesses. Redridge and his men enter the room to retrieve Eli's book, only to discover that Eli has vanished. Meanwhile, Eli secures his battery from the engineer and attempts to exit the town. However, Carnegie intercepts him, demanding the coveted Bible.
Believing it to be a tool for societal control, Carnegie is prepared to kill Eli for possession of the book.
Undeterred, Eli continues walking away.
Unexpectedly, Redridge takes 2 shots at Eli, both missing their mark.
Irritated, Eli retaliates by drawing his own gun and skillfully eliminating any audible threats. When his gun runs out of bullets, Eli switches to a shotgun, maintaining his deadly precision as he continues to eliminate the approaching thugs.
In a twist of fate, Eli's shots during the skirmish with Carnegie and his gang miraculously hit Carnegie in the leg. Witnessing what seems like divine protection surrounding Eli, Redridge opts to let him go, at least for the time being.
Following treatment for his injured leg, Carnegie attempts to send the gang after Eli. But Redridge, wary after the loss of many men, proposes a deal. He will retrieve the book if Carnegie allows him to claim Solara as his concubine. Shortly thereafter, Eli becomes aware of Solara trailing him. She explains that Claudia sent her for her safety, but Eli insists on her departure.
Unyielding, Solara makes a compelling offer, guiding him to the town's underground spring, a clean water source.
Eager to replenish his canteen, Eli initially seems cooperative, only to deceive Solara and trap her in the cave. After managing to escape, Solara attempts to locate Eli, but instead stumbles upon the woman with the broken cart.
Despite Solara's willingness to help, the woman urges her to leave, reluctant to see a young innocent girl fall into a potential trap. Unexpectedly, 2 thugs assail Solara, and after enduring several blows, Solara's cries for help reach Eli, enabling him to locate her.
He intervenes by shooting one thug in the groin with an arrow and the other in the throat, and they continue their journey together. Meanwhile, Carnegie and Redridge discover the bodies thanks to circling birds and find a piece of Solara's clothing.
On the road, Eli, attuned to the environment, hears a bird and skillfully brings it down with an arrow. While he retrieves the bird, he asks Solara to take the wire from his bow. As night descends, Eli and Solara decide to rest within the confines of an old cooling tower.
Solara, seeking connection and education, implores Eli to read to her. Eli obliges, sharing a few lines from the book before carefully stowing it away.
He confides in Solara, recounting that when he discovered the Bible, a guiding voice directed him on where to go, assuring the book's safety and his protection.
Seizing an opportunity, she attempts to take the book while Eli sleeps. However, as she unzips the bag, Eli keenly opens his eyes, prompting her to step away. The following day, the duo continues their journey, eventually stumbling upon a house with a sign that warns against trespassing. Unaware of the sign, they approach the door. Suddenly, a trap door opens beneath them, causing them to fall into a hole. As the door opens, Martha and George, an armed elderly couple who have lived in the house since before the flash, are revealed.
Eli responds with sincere apologies and polite words,
decide to welcome them into their home. Initially, the conversation flows smoothly over tea, but things take a dark turn when the elderly couple reveals the backyard, which serves as a gruesome repository for the bodies of those who attempted to attack their house.
Sensing danger, Eli discerns that the couple are cannibals and decides it's time to leave.
He keeps his gun ready to ensure their safe exit.
Their departure is interrupted when Carnegie and his gang, arriving in cars,
George reveals a hidden cache of weapons concealed within the sofa. Carnegie, using a megaphone, demands Eli to send Solara outside with the book to avoid a potential confrontation. A mysterious package is thrown out of the window, prompting Redridge to rush and seize it. However, instead of the expected Bible, he discovers a bomb. Reacting swiftly, Redridge takes cover just before the explosion occurs, destroying 2 cars and claiming the lives of several thugs. In retaliation, Carnegie's men unleash a barrage of gunfire on the house. Eli responds by tossing a grenade.
In annoyance, Redridge counterattacks by firing a missile, resulting in a devastating explosion that claims half the house and Martha's life.
George, mourning the loss of his wife, taking out as many thugs as possible until the enemy deploys a Gatling gun, Eli and Solara find themselves surrounded and forcibly extracted from the house. Carnegie, threatening Solara's life, coerces Eli into revealing the location of the hidden book.
Ravaged retrieves the book and hands it to Carnegie, who releases Solara before callously shooting Eli in the stomach. But Carnegie swiftly kicks him down and departs with his men, taking Solara along.
In one of the vans, Ravaged places Eli's machete on the dashboard, and Solara, using the wire from Eli's bow, causing the van to flip multiple times until it comes to a halt.
As the other cars pause to investigate the crash,
She moves to the driver's seat, finding a grenade, which she hurls at the vehicles, causing an additional explosion. Switching to the driver's seat, Solara discovers that Ravaged has been impaled by Eli's machete.
Solara, now at the wheel, drives away. Carnegie, recognizing the futility of pursuing her when he already possesses the book, decides not to give chase in the remaining car.
Upon arriving at the house, Solara is unable to locate Eli. Fearing the worst, she resumes driving until she finds him on the road, still determined to reach his destination.
Solara promptly places him in the van, and Eli, using duct tape, manages to wrap up his wounded stomach.
After several hours of driving, they reach the Golden Gate Bridge, now broken and impassable. Eli, revealing air close to their destination, leads them to a rowboat to traverse to Alcatraz Island. As fatigue sets in, Solara takes over rowing for Eli.
Back in town, Carnegie faces frustration as he struggles to unlock the book, prompting him to enlist the engineer's help.
His excitement turns to disappointment when they discover the book is in Braille. It is then revealed that Eli has been blind from the beginning, explaining his reliance on auditory cues for navigation and interactions.
In a last-ditch effort, Carnegie turns to Claudia, urging her to read the Braille book for him.
Despite Claudia's clear happiness at the prospect of reading Braille again, she lies to Carnegie, claiming to have forgotten how to read it. To add insult to injury, she reveals her ability to smell his infected leg, predicting that nobody will respect him any longer. Carnegie checks the bar and finds chaos, locals looting, and his own men engaged in internal conflicts.
He collapses under the weight of his shattered control.
Meanwhile, back on Alcatraz Island, Eli and Solara encounter an armed guard. Eli, using the leverage of having a Bible, persuades the guard to let them pass. They meet with a curator on the island, who has been diligently preserving remnants of humanity's history.
Lamenting the absence of a Bible copy, Eli discloses that he has memorized the entire text.
He begins dictating it to the curator, allowing for the creation of a new copy to be preserved for future generations. The process of dictating the Bible to the curator on Alcatraz Island is a lengthy one, prompting Eli to take intermittent breaks for personal care, shaving, and changing to fresh clothes. After much dedicated effort, the new Bible is ultimately completed. Eli, finding solace in fulfilling his mission, passes away from the gunshot wound. Eli is laid to rest in Alcatraz's courtyard garden, and a bound copy of the Bible is added to the collection, securing his legacy. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our next recaps on this channel. Until next time, happy watching.